Giza, 2500 BC. The plateau awakens under a massive desert storm as blue lightning strikes the apex, signaling the birth of a world of forbidden power. The architect stands upon the ledge, activating the crystal core while his eyes reflect the electric blue hum of a lost ancient science. Thousands of male workers strike their massive copper tuning forks in unison, sending sacred sound frequencies rippling through the heart of the solid stone foundation. Gravity itself becomes a myth as a 50-ton granite block begins to hover, floating inches above the sand, guided effortlessly by the hands of the workers. The white limestone casing is polished to a mirror-like finish, designed to act as a massive electrostatic insulator for the energy building within the structure. The architect carefully inspects the joinery with an obsidian mirror. The tolerances are so precise that not even a single human hair can pass between stones. The workers use the power of sound, not steel, to carve through the eternal red granite with ease. The Nile becomes a highway for the impossible as massive granite beams float on the water's surface, levitating through the air, guided by rhythmic sonic harmony. With a single motion of his copper staff, the architect signals the start. The very desert sand begins to ripple and dance to the pyramid's rising hum. A legion of male workers carry massive sheets of pure copper into the dark corridors, lining the internal channels to create a perfect electrical conduit system. Static electricity crackles through the air as a worker touches the granite wall, watching blue sparks jump from the stone that is now alive with energy. The architect walks the narrow ascending path, illuminated by the soft glow of a crystal lamp that burns cold, leaving behind no smoke or residue. Deep in the subterranean chamber, the Nile's current is forced through stone valves, creating a violent hydraulic pulse that acts as the pyramid's mechanical heartbeat. Ancient engineers adjust the massive stone gears, regulating the water's pressure as the mechanical heart of the Giza machine begins its first rhythmic, powerful beat. Water spirals down the well shaft in a violent vortex, generating the kinetic energy and pressure required to kickstart the pyramid's complex energy generation cycle. The pyramid's unique 8-sided geometry is revealed from above, acting as a massive parabolic lens that focuses the Earth's natural vibrations into the king's chamber. Inside the queen's chamber, the architect prepares for the dangerous chemical phase, wearing a protective leather mask as the air begins to thicken with fumes. The workers pour the chemical catalysts, mixing diluted acids within the stone troughs of the chamber walls to ignite a reaction hidden from history. A chemical storm erupts within the stone vats. The subterranean laboratory begins to breathe out volatile hydrogen gas, the very fuel that powers the stars. Shimmering with the heat of creation, the pure hydrogen gas fills the internal shafts, rising toward the upper chambers where the true power is concentrated. The architect unlocks the Gantenbrink valve with a stone key. The internal pressure stabilizes, and the great machine is finally primed for its final awakening. Within the Grand Gallery, 27 pairs of giant crystal racks are meticulously aligned to match the exact resonance frequency of the planet's core.
Great Gallery begins to sing a low-frequency hum, a sound so powerful it vibrates every atom in the room, making the air glow with energy. As the internal air pressure rises, the architect stands in the center of the gallery, his hair blowing in the wind of a pure, invisible sonic storm. The red granite walls begin to pulse with internal blue light. The quartz crystals inside the stone are now screaming with converted electrical power. Inside the king's chamber, the heavy stone box begins to vibrate so violently it becomes a blur, hummed into life by the surrounding acoustic architecture. He carefully places the copper-wound coil into the box. The sarcophagus is no coffin, it is a high-voltage capacitor designed to store infinite electrical charge. Massive arcs of blue lightning jump between the granite relieving beams above, surging through the upper structure as the power reaches its maximum potential. Outside on the plateau, the workers fall to their knees as the ground begins to shake, feeling the roar of the machine awakening from within the pyramid. At a microscopic level, the pressure of millions of tons of stone squeezes the quartz crystals, creating a constant flow of fire known as the piezoelectric effect. The architect's copper medallion begins to spark and glow. He is standing in the center of a magnetic field of unimaginable and raw ancient power. High on the ridge, workers polish the massive pink granite obelisks, turning them into crystalline antennas to receive the power transmitted from the Great Pyramid. The golden capstone is polished by 100 men until it outshines the sun itself, acting as the final terminal for the world's first power grid. With a rhythmic, haunting chant, the workers use sonic ropes to lift the golden pyramidion, guiding it toward the summit through the power of sound alone. As the storm breaks, a bolt of lightning strikes the gold peak. The Great Pyramid of Giza transforms into a towering pillar of white and blue fire. Across the plateau, all three pyramids synchronize their frequencies, creating a wireless energy grid that powers every corner of the vast and ancient Egyptian empire. Deep in the royal workshops, master smiths forge precision copper gears and conductors, the essential components required to maintain the wireless age of the gods. The architect maps out the Earth's ley lines on a stone tablet, identifying the exact points where the planet's natural magnetic energy flows at its strongest. The workers hold glass tubes filled with captured static gas, which glow brightly without the need for fire, oil, or wicks, the world's first electric lights. Blue currents of pure energy run through the sand like water, flowing from the pyramid's base directly into the paws of the massive limestone sphinx. Under the light of the full moon, the sphinx awakens with a golden aura, its massive body acting as the primary grounding rod for the entire grid. The architect peers through a crystal lens, observing the stars. The pyramid's shafts are perfectly aligned to receive data and energy from the Orion constellation. Maintenance crews use long fiber brushes to clean the copper-lined air shafts, ensuring that the microwave waveguides remain clear of desert dust and debris. A green plasma gas begins to flow through the grand gallery, moving at the speed of light and turning the chamber into a glowing corridor. The architect's shadow is cast long against the glowing limestone walls, a man who has successfully mastered the hidden laws and secrets of the universe. A beam of concentrated white light erupts from the southern shaft of the king's chamber, piercing through the darkness and reaching towards the deep stars. The entire internal structure is revealed as a parabolic dish, catching the hum of the planet and converting it into usable wireless electrical power. Inside the deepest, darkest tunnels, the architect tests a new wireless light tube, which illuminates the ancient stone with a cold, brilliant, and flickering blue glow. From the banks of the Nile, the common people watch in silence as their horizon is transformed into a sea of light by the glowing pyramids. The vibration becomes absolute. Small stones on the plateau begin to dance and levitate as the pyramid reaches its peak resonance frequency for the night. The intense energy field begins to change the architect's very being, his eyes glowing with a faint blue light as he merges with the machine. A massive copper gate slides open within the hidden passages, releasing a hiss of pressurized gas as the internal systems regulate their output for the city. The elite guard uses the scepters of power, tools that emit a focused sonic hum to easily clear heavy debris and sand from the sacred power paths. As the sun sets, the pyramid's shadow aligns perfectly with the distant obelisk, marking the exact moment when the Earth's energy is at its most powerful. The acoustic architecture of the gallery is flawless, bouncing sound waves back and forth until they amplify into a roar of pure, crackling electrical energy. The subterranean floodgates are opened once more, and the chamber is primed with Nile water to begin the next rhythmic pulse of the massive engine. Workers operate a complex system of stone pulleys and granite portcullises, ensuring the immense internal gas pressure of the reactor is safely and perfectly contained. A brilliant blue glow discharge fills the Queen's chamber as the chemical reaction reaches its peak calty, proving that the ancient laboratory is functioning at full capacity. The architect uses a copper-wired pendulum to measure the oscillation. The entire pyramid is now tuned to the exact harmonic frequency of 44 Hz. A final polish is applied to the white casing stones. They must be as smooth as glass to reflect the massive ionic charge being generated within. A purple arc of energy jumps from the capstone to the head of the Sphinx, confirming that the silent guardian is now fully charged and operational. The architect touches the gold-etched flower of life on the wall. He knows this geometry is the fundamental code that runs the energy of the universe. Inside the king's chamber, the heavy stone capacitor begins to glow white-hot, containing the raw thermal and electrical energy of 10,000 desert suns. Microwave energy bounces through the limestone shafts, acting as a massive transmitter that sends data and power across the vast distances of the desert. Standing on the edge of the pyramid, the architect looks down at a glowing city that never sleeps, a civilization powered entirely by the Earth itself. Ground engineers monitor the vast copper wire grid beneath the sand.
The roar of a giant, invisible turbine echoes from the deep heart of the Great Pyramid, a sound that can be felt from miles across the desert. Technicians adjust the massive crystal lens on top of a distant obelisk, focusing the beam of wireless power directly toward the city's central temple. A spark of pure, free energy jumps from the air to a worker's copper staff, proving that in this world, power is as free as the air. The backup systems are inspected. Rows of clay and copper batteries stand ready to store the pyramid's excess energy for the coming winter months. The pyramid begins to shimmer and fade, appearing like a transparent ghost of blue light as it transitions into a state of pure, vibrating energy. The male workers begin to chant in a perfect, deep unison of 432 hertz, their voices acting as a stabilizer for the machine's massive internal frequency. A JED pillar is activated in the field, sparking with electricity and providing a portable wireless power source for the ancient builders and engineers. The architect bows his head in silent prayer as his work is finished. The great Giza machine is finally and eternally alive and pulsing. In a final climactic burst, a massive pillar of pure white light shoots from Giza into the heavens, announcing to the stars that the power is back.
But this power was never meant for Egypt alone. A global web was waking up, connecting every corner of the earth. A storm was coming, a planetary reset that would bury this golden age under 1,000 feet of water. Stay tuned for part 2.